Hey everyone, welcome back to Bros and Shows. I'm your host Josiah, aka Muller67, and with me, as always, I got my buddy, I got my pal, my brother Austin. Austin, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing pretty okay. I can't complain too much. Just spent the day playing games. It was good.
Can't be a bad day.
Can't be a bad day. Yesterday we did our final. It's not our final of our LARP game that I play. It's the big climactic ending happened yesterday, and then the next game is going to be sunsetting, which is where people get to like have one last game to like play as their character and just describe what they're going to do with their character and their goals and where they're going, vice versa, and thus sunset your character into the distance. Everyone seemed to have survived to the most degree. Everyone's good. I had them fight a amalgamation of essentially five individuals, like five kindred that are like amalgamated themselves into a tree, and they like I had like a whole mechanic where I would roll a 6-sided die, and depending on the 6-sided die was the skills and pool I would pull from. And then it was like we had like 8 people participate in it, because we had a couple people who couldn't make it that night, and I'm like, that's okay, I'm like, that's fine. So we all kind of played together. It was fun, it was good. They defeated it. We basically ran it till the last like 15 minutes of our time at the location. Normally we end game at 11:30. We had to end it at 11:45 because of how long it took. But yeah, we finished it, and then whenever they left, the place that they fought the bad guy in essentially was Fifth's Conservatory, which is like the flower place, and the dude essentially collapsed it to try and kill them along with him. They got out, and then when they left, they saw that like almost all of Pittsburgh was on fire, because every stock location in Pittsburgh that the person knew about was on fire. And so anyone who didn't have isolated or hole in the wall into it was like, it was gone. Like your place is on fire. And his goal was to not just kill them, but to kill like all their like connections as well, which he got away with destroying everything. He did not get away with getting them. And then they get to rebuild now, and like their sunset is them to either choose to rebuild Pittsburgh or to leave it and go somewhere else. And that's just how it goes. That's how life goes.
Yeah.
So it was good to do that. It was good to finish that all up. And then I got home at like 2:30 in the morning. Proceeded to pass right out. Like no time whatsoever. I got so used to since I started going back to work this week, I've been really trying to fix my sleep schedule, and it's been abysmal. I mean, like me and you were trying to like play games at one point. Basically, yeah. I would get home from work, be up for like 1 or 2 hours trying to be up, and then I'll lay down, and then next thing I know, I'm out till like 12 o'clock at night, and then I'll wake up and I can't get back to bed, and I'll be up until about 1 or 2, finally go back to bed, wake up, and I'm tired again. Like, it just has not been a great consistency with that, at least.
Well, it's been busy. It's been real busy for both of us. So.
Yeah, well, it's just like my body got so used to going to sleep whenever I wanted to versus like my schedule, and so now that I have to like readjust myself back to my schedule, it's just it's going to be a problem again. But yeah, no, that's basically what I did. Basically how I've been doing. Austin, how has your week been?
Busy. Actually, very busy. Actually. So the funny thing is my work actually asked me to take a promotion. Okay. Yeah, I haven't even done 90 days yet. So I was stuck at training all this week in Columbus. So like from Tuesday to Thursday, I was doing instructor training for CPI training, which is crisis prevention intervention training. Okay. Which is pretty much just learning to deal with a behavior and try to de-escalate a behavior. And then if you can't, and then an act of violence happens, you know how to respond to it.
Okay.
So everyone at my school, when you get hired, you get trained for this, and a lot of people like around the county get trained for this. So they were like, "Hey, have you ever thought about being an instructor so that you can teach people to do it?" And I was like, "Yeah,
why
that's
not?
cool."
Yeah.
So I had to go to a hotel, had to take 3 days of class.
Had to go to a hotel. They blindfolded me.
They blindfolded me, put a bag over my head, and was like, "You're gonna do this, or we're gonna kill your whole family."
Like, oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
But the truth of the matter is that they just kept pumping in air under the vent thing and make you go crazy.
Stop it.
I forget what happens in that movie. I forget what movie that is. I think that's Old Boy.
Old Boy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the American version of it, and people were like, "That's not a great one." And I'm like, I understand, but me and my friends who watched it, I distinctly remember us watching it to make fun of it. But I know that people really like the original version.
The original version is amazing. It is the best.
Okay. I have not seen that. I've seen like clips of it because everyone like shows it all the time. But the whole like fog under the thing and being trapped inside of like a little hotel room is all I really remember of that.
Yeah, no, it's not that. That's nothing. Man, that sucks that you've seen the American version. And
life is life, Austin. We move on, we grow, we don't change.
Don't change.
We don't change.
Don't change one bit. No, so I went down there and I found out, like, you know, they were like, "Hey, you know, you have to pass a test and everything like that." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is gonna be terrible." I ended up getting a 98 on the test, and I was like, "Oh yeah, cool." You know, so I came back and they were like, "Hey, you know, like, you know, we're excited for you to train and stuff, and you know, we're you know." And I came back on Friday to the school, and you know, it was a full classroom, and like the girl that I was talking about last week, where her like brother died, they had the funeral this week, and so then what we did to be super nice to her is we all supported her by buying her tickets to a concert that she really wants to go.
Oh, that's nice.
Sydney's going downstairs lunch box and
Hey, we're live. What can you do?
Yeah, that's Chloe. So that's the foster kid I take care of from Monday through Wednesday. She's cute as a button, but she doesn't understand the whole concept of, hey, when the door's closed, you know, that means I'm on the podcast, which is pretty funny. It's fine. You know, we're live. It's fine.
Yeah.
But
it's all good.
So, you know, she didn't shut the door all the way. So,
no, it's adorable as crap.
Yeah, it is. Oh, so, what was I saying? So we actually bought tickets to a concert for her, like the whole bunch of staff, like, you know, raised money so that we could get tickets for her.
That's good. Yeah.
Her boyfriend to go. And then we also, her brother was special needs too, and so he really liked to draw superheroes, and so they showed us like a bunch of pictures of his drawings, and so we got all the kids in schools to draw their own superhero, and we taped them up on the halls. So she's coming in tomorrow, and she's going to see all those pictures that these kids have made for her.
Oh.
And of course me, I had to like try my attempt at Daredevil, which I'm going to tell you this, I am not the artist of the family. I'm awful at drawing. It's terrible.
Do you have it on you?
Oh no, I'm going to send a picture to you, and it's awful. It's awful. It's not bad, but it's bad. Like it's like,
are they going to be confused by which kid did it?
Yeah, they'll probably like, oh wow, that kid really did. Oh,
they tried their hardest. Oh, yeah. Who's Austin?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a teacher? Oh no.
Oh no. So that's gonna happen tomorrow, and then
that's good. That's nice.
You know, and I only have to work 2 days this week. I only have to work Monday and Tuesday.
Must be nice.
Oh yeah, and I am going to be jolly old Saint Nick for the parade. They approached me and asked me to be Jolly Saint Nick, and they got me a costume. So I was like, oh yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Are you gonna pack yourself with like pillows or whatnot to make yourself bigger?
Oh yeah.
That's good.
So I'm gonna do that. It comes with a beard. The whole costume's like $1,000. Like they spent the money for it. They were like,
Oh,
yeah,
dang.
you know, and I was like, dang, okay. And I think that they're just asking me to do it on Christmas too. So you know, and they're gonna give me a bonus, I'm guessing, or something like that. Because I'm doing
They're like,
it.
here's the bonus. Our thanks.
Yeah, thanks. No, they're really my work is fantastic.
No.
love it.
I meant the idea of like our thanks in the
Yeah.
form of like a Christmas card that says thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Here
you
go,
for
thank you.
being a friend.
So yeah, that's happening. And then I only have to work Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday I'm off, Thursday I'm off, and Friday I'm off because of Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving is this Thursday coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, that's pretty much what's been going on, really, you know.
Okay.
Not really too much. Been
No,
trying to
pretty
play
good.
Silent Hill 2 and beat it, but I can't. for
You
some
know,
odd
that's too bad.
reason.
Well, maybe you
It
should
keeps
get better.
crashing.
Yeah,
Keeps
sure.
crashing.
Keep blaming on that. I'm sure about that.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that.
But speaking of crashing and burning a whole friggin' city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about crash and burn, and let's
Yeah.
talk about a show that was piece of no, I'm kidding. Let's talk about The Penguin, Austin, a
Yeah.
sequel series to the Batman movie that is
Yeah.
all about Oswald Cobb's
Bubble pot.
Cobblepot.
Cobble pot.
Austin,
Pot.
what did you think of The Penguin?
So I will say this. I didn't know when selecting this that you did not watch the Batman movie. But also too,
I've never seen it.
they do show what happened.
Yeah,
'cause they
I
actually
got
bring it up.
context.
Yeah, that's
think.
the end of Batman when Riddler blows up.
I'm just
the dams.
completely confused
Yeah.
because like said that it was the Batman who did it, and then other people said that it was the Riddler who did it, and so I'm just like, is it one of those situations that Batman has to take the blame for it?
It's more of the situation between no one. Batman's brand new to the situation, so like no one knows who Batman is, and Batman's been like fighting Riddler, and then what happens at the end of the Batman explains why he's not in this season of Penguin. It's
okay.
kind of like him being brand new to the whole thing.
Yeah,
Which Robert Pattinson plays Batman.
yeah.
So that is,
But
a
I've
lot of
heard he
people-
actually is pretty good at like.
It is. It's
of-
not a bad movie. Like it's not the worst Batman movie I've ever seen. That has to go to Batman versus Superman or anything that involves Ben Affleck in being Batman. I just feel like those
okay.
movies, or Justice League. Those are
Sorry, I
awful.
had to think about what you were talking about because whenever you said
Yeah.
Ben Affleck, I'm like, wait, I know that name. That's the
He also played Daredevil.
fictional character, dude. Yeah.
But no. So the movie's decent. I liked it. It's pretty good. There is a couple things I do have problems with the Riddler's character and stuff. But the thing is like that. This show going in, I was already excited for the show because who plays the Penguin does not look like him at all, and they do very well with his makeup, and he acts totally different. But it's Colin Farrell. I don't know if you know who Colin Farrell is.
Colin Farrell. The name sounds familiar, but I do not know who they are.
He's an Irish actor. He's in a lot of things. I'm trying to think what movie you would know him from. But he does not look like the Penguin at all. Like they did really well with the makeup and everything, but he did really well.
Oh, I do know him. Yeah, I do
yeah.
know him.
That's Colin Farrell.
Wow.
Yeah, the
that's
makeup's
crazy.
really good. Yeah. So
That's pretty intense.
yeah, it's pretty cool that they did it that way. He like stars in the Batman for like a good, I think like minute or something. Batman like goes into like his nightclub or whatever and like questions him and stuff, and he fights him a little bit. That's all you know of it. So then when this movie came out and it made the money it did, they were like, hey, we're making a Penguin show. I was like, that should be interesting with Colin Farrell, because Colin Farrell's, I think he did a really good job as Penguin. He looks realistic. So going into this, I was like, all right, let's see what has happened. I actually fairly thoroughly enjoyed the show. I actually enjoyed it. I think it's pretty well done. for a Penguin show, like for a villain show. You know, there was a lot of things. They had some great cast. You know, I always am a fan of Clancy Brown. Clancy Brown is always my favorite dude.
When he was on screen, I'm just like, I know him.
He's Mr.
I know him. I know him from a lot of things.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's
okay.
a couple other actors.
So what I'll say about this show is that I did very much enjoy it. I am also in the same boat as you of enjoying it. I think the guy who plays the Penguin was a very good actor. Like very well done through everything. I found the sidekick person, Vincent, I think is what his name was. Very good. The person that he catches him trying to steal his car.
Or Victor.
Okay, I thought his name was Vincent. But Victor was very good, as well as the mob boss daughter. I thought was really, really solid.
Sophie.
When it comes to like all the other characters, I think they play their roles very well, but it very much like this show very much came off like a HBO primetime show where they get like 2 or 3 big name actors and then the rest are very like under the radar people that are like, do they do good acting? Yes, they do. And for all I know, there's a handful of like really, really famous actors in here, and I'm not aware of. It just came off as like it came off like 2015 HBO TV show a lot, which isn't like bad, you know, like you have some great shows like that. All I could think of while watching it was like The Sopranos, but Batman. Like that's what my brain was saying. Luckily enough, there was no like Batman or anything. I didn't know why Batman never showed up. So you tell me that there's something at the end of the movie that explains why he's not there. That's fine. That's good. That makes sense. From my perspective, I'm over here watching. I'm like, when does he show up? Will he show up? Probably not. They want to keep the budget as small as they can. But like the relative plot of the show I thought was really good. The story was good, except my only issue I had with the plot of the show or like the day-to-day episodes, it always felt like one thing would go and then something goes wrong, gotta double cross the people that you're with, and then another thing goes wrong, you gotta double cross. Like it consistently felt like there was never ever like consistency outside of Victor, and that's why I think I liked him so much, because everyone else was like so jumpy and like double crossy. And I'm just like, how did this like mafia family ever exist? Like everyone's like betraying each other. It makes no real sense. Like I don't understand why they would even like that. There was a single part where I was kind of like, that's stupid. And that was the end of it. That was near the end of it with the car, when they pull in the car into the subway place. And I was like, wait, how would they not know that there was no one in the car? Wait, how would they be able to drive the car with no one in it? This is stupid. Like I legitimately went like sat along, I'm like, that's stupid. Like I was so like caught off guard by how dumb of a like premise all that was. That was like a different definition of someone being like, ooh, and then they blow up the whole thing. Yeah, and then they pin it on the other people. Yeah, that's great. How do they get the explosives in there? Oh, they put the explosives in the car and they think it's his mom's in the car. Yeah. So does she like sacrifice people? Nah, man, we'll just like make it remote control or something like that. And we'll do like this whole thing where like he opens the side of the car and then like the light shows on her getting out of the car and you're like, oh my gosh, she's there. And then she's not. And I'm like, friggin' pick a lane in this show. Like, I don't know about you, Austin, The only issue I really had with the show is I did not understand the timeline or time frame they were trying to show things in, because there was a lot of things in the show they were trying to show off as if it's like, oh, it's like 1980s kind of vibes, because whenever Victor was young, that's whenever like the swinging like 30s or 40s or whatever it was, like that was like the era of Gotham in that time. And then now with how old everyone is, Victor and all of them are running around with smartphones, to the point where there's a point where Victor uses the smartphone to unlock like a dead body to unlock a smartphone. And so I'm like, okay, so it's more in the future than anything else. Meanwhile, no one uses any other technology. Like, all their generators look super old and antique, even whenever it's on the surface. Like, I'm like, what the freak? It's like someone took like key technology and said, we're going to keep it, but everything else we're going to throw back in the 50s. And I was just so it made me like, what? The whole time. But other than that, you know, the show was good. The great acting, everything of that sort. Pretty okay. Pretty okay.
Yeah, no, I get it. Like, I enjoyed the show a lot. The only thing that I will say that kind of hurt me a little bit was probably Victor's end.
That was a great like, because like that's the thing I will say is like throughout most of the show, and I think this is good writing, right? It's good writing to a degree. Throughout the show, you are sympathizing with him. You're like, he's just trying to build a great thing for his mom. He's trying to like give all these people who deserve something to take down these kingpins essentially, and then he's going to become the new kingpin type of thing. Like, that's what you're kind of getting the vibe of the whole time. And then in the last like 2 episodes, you like, they completely warp his character, like expertly done, where like, yeah, his brothers, he killed them, like, and his mom knew, and she just accepted it, and she hated his guts for it, and she never said anything because she expected the one mafia dude to kill him, but he never did. And then like, and then like you find out like all this stuff that like, yeah, no, he killed them. He has this sick fantasy about his mom. He has abandonment issues. He's a nutcase is the best way. Like, yeah, he's not to be like mean. Like, I know a lot of people don't like that term, right? But he is like the definition of someone who has like mental, like, so many problems that the character, like, he's a complete psychopath and unredeemable, but he is a high functioning one that you can't tell until it's kind of too late. Like, when Victor tells him, he's like, you're like a family to me, I was like, oh no. I instantly went, oh no. And then he just starts strangling him. I'm just like, oh no.
Oh no, Victor.
I find it so funny because he is, the Penguin is very much a narcissist. Like, in the end, whenever he's like telling Victor the whole time, he's like, you know, I could have done this all without you. I would have done this all without you. I could have done this all without you. Meanwhile, there was at least 4 times throughout the series that Victor is literally the single-handed reason why he lives. And I'm just like, oh man. Yeah. They did a great job of making him unredeemable in that last episode, man. They did a great job. I'll acknowledge that, baby, hard.
Yeah.
They did a fantastic job.
Yeah, it's they took the essence of like the Penguin in the comics, like exactly how the Penguin is where he will manipulate. You'll feel good, you'll feel bad about it, and you'll be like, oh man, I'm so bad, I'm oh, poor helpless me. And then he's like, well, reality is I'll kill you. So, you know, Cobblepot's been like that throughout the comics and throughout pretty much every Batman thing. So it's kind of interesting because the thing is this is the kind of Penguin we haven't seen before, because the only like rendition we've ever had really of Penguin is like on the animated series, and then we had like the movie with Danny DeVito. you know, we haven't had an Oswald Cobblepot ever since then, and it's kind of interesting to see like their take on it, and I actually enjoy their take on it. I'm like, yeah, this is pretty good. I will say the ending, like when you find out that Oswald killed like his two brothers, and then they try to force him to tell his mom, and his mom like kind of already knew that, and you're just like, that's kind of messed up.
Yeah, it was super messed up because like he was willing to have her suffer in order to make it that he doesn't have to admit. And then she's just like, you're effed up. Like, I knew. Like, why would you? Why would you bring it up? And I was over here like, I'm like, yeah, it's kind of funny. Like, all they needed was the mom to just say that she knew. And even after she said she knew, he was still like denying it. Like, no, they're messing with your brain, Mom. That's not what it is.
It's okay.
I'll take care of your mom. I love you, Mom. You're all for me.
Now tell me, Mom. Tell me that I'm a good boy.
Tell me I'm a good boy. Tell me that I made you proud. Which was funny, right? That like the whole time, the connection between that lady and him, you thought it was like some form of romantic thing, which I guess it kind of still was, but you didn't understand like the depravity of it.
Yeah.
And then at the end there, whenever he walks out and it's her in the wig and everything, and she looks just like the mom, you're kind of like, oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. He's indeemable. Like it was shocking to me just how like they literally did a fantastic. That's the thing I'm going to give the Penguin above everything else, is they did a fantastic job in the last two episodes to make you like go from being like he's semi-sympathetic, he's semi this, to being like, oh, he deserves everything bad.
Like he deserves all
everything.
And the ending of the show is leading up to Batman, because we get to see the symbol, like the bat signal at the end of the show. Yeah,
I didn't know they were making another movie. Were they?
Yeah, so Batman 2 is coming out, and they announced that like I think it was like a year after like the Batman Matt Reeves one. But what's really weird is I don't know if they're gonna continue after this, because Warner Brothers had like a couple things lined up. Like they had the Penguin, which they made the Penguin, and then they had Batgirl coming out, and then that's when Warner Brothers started like, you know, shelving stuff. Like they had Batgirl coming out, and they shelved that whole project. They filmed like half of that movie.
Yeah. But that was not for this universe, I thought. It
was part of that universe, because Brandon Fraser was going to be playing that. But they did announce that there is Clayface is going to be a villain in the Batman movie, and it's played by the guy that does Clayface now in Harley Quinn, but he's Steve the Pirate in Dodgeball. I forget his name. He's big. He's
Andy Tudyk.
Yeah, Andy Tudyk. Andy Tudyk is playing Clayface in the live action one too. So it's kind of nice that he's doing that. But yeah, they've been thinking about that. And what was really cool is like there was a couple Easter eggs that I thought was really cool. How they brought up like, so Sophie Marina, when they call about the Hangman, why they call her the Hangman. So that's part of the comic book called The Long Halloween, the Batman Long Halloween, and it's a phenomenal comic book series about like these murders that happen on Halloween night. It is really cool. It's a really cool Batman thing. So if you ever get a chance, I have it on the Plex. I have like the 2-part.
It's not Andy. Animated. It's Alan Tudyk. Sorry.
Oh, Alan Tudyk. Okay, yeah.
Because he's also from. Whenever I see him, I always think of Firefly. Is what I think of. He's also the.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, he's in so much stuff. Love the guy, but he's the main character in the Alien, Resident Alien, that one show that I was like, hey, we may want to do that at some point.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, people like, sorry, I like the guy. He makes me laugh all the time.
So yeah, it's it's something to look forward to actually, because they've talked about that Batman 2 is going to release probably next year or the year after. So it hopefully it's exactly how the Penguin was, because I really enjoyed the Penguin. And like I told me and Travis always talk comics. And I texted him, I was like, hey man, have you watched the Penguin yet? And he's like, no, I've heard only good things. And I was like, you need to watch the Penguin. I think
you need to
really
watch it.
Enjoy it. So, but yeah, I really enjoyed this show.
Yeah, I liked it too. I thought the show was really well done. The origination of the drug that they're giving people coming from Arkham, I thought was a fantastic twist. They did like these flashback episodes throughout the season, which the first one I enjoyed, the second one I didn't enjoy as much. The first one being like the woman's perspective whenever she got thrown into Arkham and she had to kind of go through all that. Like that was a very like gripping story where you're just like, dang dude, she's screwed. Like it's so bad and so corrupted. And the second one was the Penguin. Whenever they showed his background, I was kind of like, okay, like I get it, but I think it would have been like, I don't think I needed to see all that, you know? Like I think the story would have been fine without doing that background story of his. I don't know. It was fun. It was interesting. I did very much how in basically all the up like 6 episodes or 7 episodes kind of, he's just barely scraping by, just backstabbing everyone he has. And then the sheer fact that he gets away with it so consistently, I'm like, this is so I'm so frustrated. Like he doesn't deserve jack at this point. I was so upset and mad, but hey, I mean that's how you make like a good compelling villain, is you make them think they're sympathetic, you think that they're okay or good, and then you rug pull them and you find out like, no dude, they're actually messed up, like they're bad the whole time. And I completely thought that they were going to keep Victor around, and then like if they did a second season, Victor was going to betray him at some point. And you had like a I was getting very much Breaking Bad vibes from this as well, like the whole like Walter and Jesse kind of the vibes, but Walter obviously manipulating Victor the whole time. It's so weird to me, right? Like they and maybe this is a gripe more than anything else. Like they give him such like a crazy connective story where it's like, hey, you ever heard of this crime boss, right? Like everyone knew his name, everyone loved him because he was such a good and like hard carrying person. Like he was doing all this great stuff. And then when he died, they literally had parade in his name. He's like, that's what I'm aiming for. That's what I'm going to be, blah, blah. And meanwhile, he's killing people left and right. And like, I'm like, bro, you can't have that mindset of like, people are going to have a parade in my name when the car was about to explode, he says nothing and he just runs. And then all the people who were there, who were like hardworking people for him, walk up to the car and just all die instantly from the explosion. And I'm just like, bro, he just again, good writing enough to make me like frustrated and mad at him as a character. Like after this season, I have no sympathy for him. He's just a villain. Like he's bad. He manipulates people, and I want him to get his comeuppance. So was this like a 1 billion or 500 million, how much it cost to make this advertisement for the Batman 2? Maybe, probably. Did it work? Yeah, it kind of worked on me, I'll admit. Like I'm willing to go watch that movie now. Like I want to see how this goes. I'll now have to watch the original one just to find out what the freak is going on.
Yeah, so like the other thing is too, is there is something that I have a theory on with this.
A game theory?
Game theory. So one of the theories I have is, okay, so do you remember Julian Rush, the doctor, the psychiatrist that she falls in love with? kind of technically she has sex with him.
Yeah, yeah. It
she,
seems
like,
more like he's
tortures sex or
obsessed
something?
with him.
Yeah.
He's obsessed with her. Sorry.
So I actually believe how they have everything set up that he's the one that introduced Bliss to her. He's the
Yeah.
one that actually came up with the drug that has done that. And I believe that he could be two different villains. He could be a villain. And he's actually the one behind the whole drug scene. So one, I think he could be Hugo Strange, which is part of the Batman universe. Hugo Strange is a doctor from Arkham that he finds out who Batman's real identity is. And he
Okay.
threatens like Gotham to release Batman if Batman doesn't like succumb to him. The other one he could be is Jonathan Crane, which Jonathan Crane is Scarecrow.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes sense, but I think we're not seeing like the big picture with him because he's very obsessed and he's really weird. And the last thing that we see is her back in Arkham and him walking in and talking to her. And I'm like, I think he's like tied in to Arkham completely, where he's using that mind control thing, which might manipulate the Bliss to become the fear toxin that he comes up with later on. So I don't know. That's what I feel like he could be like a setup for Jonathan Crane, because it sounds like to me that that's what's like Batman 2 is going to be right after the events of Penguin, and I think that we're going to see like Batman 2 is going to happen, and if they greenlight, because this show did really well, supposedly it did really well.
Yeah, I believe it.
So I'm guessing that if they greenlit Penguin again, like season 2, it's going to be like the aftermath of Batman 2, because man, I really don't want to say too much, because you should watch the Batman movie. I do agree that it's a good movie, but there is a lot of problems I do have with that movie. I think Robert Pattinson does really good as Batman. I just don't like the Riddler in that movie at all. And they changed Falcone. They got a different actor for Falcone, actually, because they in the movie they use Jon Favreau. Do you know who Jon Favreau is?
Jon Favreau is the guy.
Not Jon Favreau. Not Jon Favreau. Oh shoot, what's his name? I always say it's Jon Favreau, but it's not. It's John something. Hold on.
John Cena.
The Big Lebowski. Let's see.
John Goodman.
No, it's
Okay. I was about to be
John
like,
Turturro. It's John Turturro, the guy that plays the butler in Mr. Deeds.
Oh, him.
Sneaky,
Okay,
sneaky.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's John Turturro. John Turturro actually plays her dad in the movie.
Okay.
But then they, for some odd reason, didn't have him back for the Penguin show, so they gave it to someone else. Which I kind of was like, wait, is that supposed to be Falcone? Like, is that supposed to be her dad? And I was like, oh, okay, he looks exactly the same. It's just you can tell that it's not the same actor.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was kind of weird there for a minute. I was like, wait, why didn't they just bring back John Turturro? But I was like, maybe probably because the money. They were trying to save on budget. And it was only like for like a good, like, what was it, like 2 minutes they had him in, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. So yeah, I really think that we're not seeing all of Dr. Julian Rush, because what's really funny is I don't, when I see him, I don't see him as like a new character. I always see him as Shades. He played in Luke Cage.
Oh yeah.
First 2 seasons, and he played Shades, which was like the counterpart. He was like one of the like villains of Luke Cage. So every time I see him, I'm like, hey, it's Shades. So I can't get him out of my head that he's not Shades. But it's funny that he's playing another villain in a way. So
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
typecasting, man. It sucks, but it is what it is.
Oh, that's why I came up with the conclusion that he might be Hugo Strange, because Hugo Strange is a huge proponent of electric shock therapy and believes that it works a lot. After he witnesses like something bad happening with electroshock, he realizes that it helps. I don't know, but
Nah, man, you know what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen?
What's that?
The woman that they just threw in the bin, the Arkham, like Sophia, she's going to go crazy and she's going to become the Joker, and he's going to be her Harley Quinn.
Well, they already have the Joker.
Sure, that's what you said.
Fine.
People thought that about Gotham, and then they like threw that out the window last second. They're like, oh, that's not the Joker. That's someone else.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who they picked to play the Joker in the Batman, because there was like a deleted scene that they did, and it wasn't good.
It was deleted. Like they didn't want that because they decided to change it because they find that changing characters are better than just keeping to the same. Because whenever something doesn't matter for a villain, why not explore it and jump around and make new characters? That's the thing. It could happen. Maybe. It could happen.
I forgot. Oh, wow.
You forgot? Did something up?
No, so I was looking up. Okay, so the director that directed the Batman movies, his name's Matt Reeves.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot that Matt Reeves he remade a movie from Switzerland to American version, and I forgot he did. And I was like, man, I forgot about that movie. That's a movie that you should watch that I think you would really enjoy. Have you ever heard of Let the Right One In?
Nope.
So Let the Right One In is like considered one of the best vampire movies of all time. It's about a little girl being a vampire and a little boy in an apartment complex that like befriends her, but he doesn't know that she's a vampire. It is really cool. It's a really dark a really dark tone movie. I'll have to put it on the Plex. But he remade one called Let Me In is the American version, and that version's really good too. So he like makes good. I think both of them have like their own separate like good about them. It's not like Old Boy where like the old one's amazing and the new one sucks. It's more of like these are two different. They're the same story, but they're two different styles.
They're different.
And they still work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he also did 10 Cloverfield Lane, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. So
that's the one with John Goodman in it.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Hey, I know you're really true about that.
But yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
I'm excited. I really enjoyed Penguin. I'm glad you enjoyed Penguin. So
yeah, I liked it a lot. I thought the first episode was very well done to like get yourself into the show, and like consistently I felt I enjoyed it. Yeah, you kind of just enjoyed those mobster movies and whatnot, and they did a good way of doing this. And it, to me, this captures the same kind of like feeling that people had with the Joker, like the first Joker movie, where it's set in the world but it's not ran by the world of Batman.
Yeah.
And so like you could watch this and not know anything or care about Batman, and you would have no issue whatsoever, and you don't think about it. So it's good. So that's how I feel about this. I liked it. I recommend it to people. Definitely have people watch it. It's solid. Oh, okay, Austin, do you have anything left you want to say?
No.
Yeah, we're both tired. Yeah, I know, man.
Me tired.
We're both tired. We're we be hitting the bed soon.
Yeah.
Anyways, Austin, I want to thank you so much for joining me and coming and talking about the Penguin. Next week we're going to do I think it's the series finale, right?
I don't know. I thought it was. I
thought they said this was going to be the end of the show. We'll find it out if they continue or not. That'll be a little fun thing. It'll be our little secret to help us later. Well, Austin, we're going to watch Only Murders in the Building season 4. And we're going to enjoy that and have fun because I love that show and I love a good murder mystery. Austin knows because gosh dang it, do I love Detective Conan. Anyways, thank you all so much for joining me, and thank you all so much for tuning in.